assured that the situation was under control and urged them to carry on with their daily activities without fear. He encouraged the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities or sightings of escaped inmates to the nearest security agency.
Meanwhile, the federal government has said it is considering relocating the Million Security Custodial Center in Suleja, Niger State, following the jailbreak that saw the escape of 119 inmates. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, during a visit to the center today, revealed that the facility houses 499 inmates as opposed to the expected 250 that it was initially built for. He confirmed that a total of 119 inmates had escaped, however, adding that 13 were rearrested. His reaction follows reports that the facility management would publish the names and pictures of the escaped inmates from the center on Wednesday. It was earlier reported that 118 inmates escaped the center following heavy rainfall on Wednesday night that resulted in extensive damage to the facility. The spokesperson for the NCOS, Federal Capital Territory Command, Adamu Duza, while responding to the development, disclosed that the command is collaborating with other security agencies to recapture the remaining fleeing inmates, adding that their database will soon be made known to the public.
The Nigerian military has closed down its camp and withdrawn troops in Alawa community in Shiroro local government area of Niger State after renewed attacks in the community. The Niger State Commissioner for Homeland Security, retired Brigadier General Bidlu Muhammad, confirmed the withdrawal. He said it was part of the arrangement by the military to strategize on best ways to tackle insecurity. According to reports, there has been renewed attacks in the community which made hundreds of locals, including women, the elderly and children, to flee their ancestral homes in search of safety. According to residents of the community, they woke up today seeing the soldiers removing their tents in preparation to leave the community. They said the withdrawal came 2 days after the military vehicle stepped on a landmine along Alawa Pandagori Road, leading to an unspecified number of casualties.
Mixed reactions have risen in light of the recent proposal made by the federal government to prohibit the admission of candidates under the age of 18 into tertiary institutions. The Minister of Education, Tahir Maman, introduced this proposal while conducting a monitoring exercise of the ongoing 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, in Buari, Federal Capital Territory. Our reporter, Sophia Daniels, examines the varied responses and implications surrounding this recent proposal.
The Minister of Education, Tahir Maman, has proposed that tertiary institutions should not admit candidates under the age of 18 years due to concerns about minors seeking admission across the country. He made this proposal during a monitoring exercise of the ongoing 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, in Buari, Federal Capital Territory. Tahir Maman expressed that candidates under 18 may not fully grasp the essence of university education, citing the transition from a controlled to an uncontrolled environment as potentially challenging for them to manage effectively. The minister said that the 18-year benchmark is in line with the 6334 system of education. Recall that the Registrar of Joint Admission Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Isiaq Oloyede, also expressed the notion while reacting to the lawsuit filed by Mrs. Ifeanyi Eke against JAMB regarding alleged inappropriate text messages sent to her 15-year-old daughter during registration, questioning why a 15-year-old was seeking admission in the first place. Speaking with BCOS News, a professor of counseling psychology, Professor Rotimi Animashaun, highlighted maturity and readiness as the qualities needed to effectively learn in tertiary institutions, which are qualities that minors typically lack. He added that minors have not completely developed emotionally, therefore they often don't have a mind of their own, leading to poor decisions that cause problems in society.
there are certain factors that are responsible for learning that makes learning very, very effective. Two of them are maturity and readiness. Is the child ready? Is the child matured? Look at the kind of education in those days. They will say that, it's only when the person is fully matured and your hand can even touch your ear on the other side that you are fully matured. This is how it was then. They were just talking about maturity. That is ability to know that thing you want to do. And you know that one is even a source of motivation. When nobody is pushing you, you discover this thing and you go into it with interest, you will be able to do well. That's how people used to do very well in those days. But let me tell you, we are so much in a hurry. We are always in a hurry here. When a child is born today, within 6 months, 1 year, you have already put that person somewhere. And the person is growing. A child who's supposed to be sleeping at home for long hours to develop the brain accurately, all these children will be forced to wake up early in the morning. Don't we know that we are baking academic devils?
In a contrary opinion, an educationist, Professor Clement Kolawole, said prohibiting minors from being admitted into tertiary institutions is retrogressive and primitive. He said as long as a candidate meets the necessary academic criteria for admission, including O-levels and JAMB requirements, they should not be denied the opportunity to pursue tertiary education.
We have seen children go to school at the age of 3 months, daycare centers, because their parents are working. And from there, they begin to do exploration, play, and then before you know it, at the age of 5, in fact, some of them are in primary schools. These days, we see accelerated promotion where you find some geniuses who come to school before you know it, they have known everything, they have mastered everything. The world is projecting such people. They call them a name that transcends genesis. You find them in schools. Why should government decide to punish them for being brilliant? Now, if you look at the age of graduation from secondary school today, most people leave secondary school at the age of 15. What would you be asked them to do in 3 years? Lock them up? This is a government that doesn't even have facility enough for those who are mature. Why would they put people at the age of 15 who have finished secondary schools, who are brilliant, who have passed their own O-level requirements, who have passed JAMB, who are willing to go to universities? We are still forcing them to say they must be 16. And they go to, at the age of 16, they come to universities. Before you know it, at the age of 20, they are first-class students, they have graduated. So it's not a program that the government should think about at all. The government should go and equip schools with facilities, with equipment, have a policy and school system that is working, put qualified teachers in the school that are willing to motivate the students to be the best they want to be.
Stakeholders advise that if the government decides to enforce the 18-year-old minimum age for admission, they should also address other pressing issues affecting the education system in the country. Sophia Daniels, BCOS News.
These broadcasts of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of your state, Ibadan. Over 15,000 security personnel have been mobilized to secure the conduct of the weekend local government election in Oyo State. The chairman, Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, Are Isiaka Olagunju SAN, disclosed this at the distribution of sensitive materials ahead of the elections. Staff reporter Adebayo Abdurofi was at the Agodi headquarters of OISEC in Ibadan. Ifauzen, the details.
Addressing newsmen at the distribution of sensitive materials ahead of Independent Electoral Commission (OISEC), Are Isiaka Olagunju SAN reiterated the determination of the Commission to conduct a credible and acceptable poll. He said that thousands of ad hoc staff have been trained for the conduct of the election across the 6,393 polling units in the 33 council areas of the state. Are Olagunju, who disclosed that the Commission had started the distribution of non-sensitive materials since Monday, 22nd of April, noted that the various political parties interested in the election are showing necessary cooperation.
Yesterday night, we started distributing materials, sensitive materials, to northern part of the state. We call it Okeogun, Okeogun 1, Okeogun 2. The telephone government in the Okeogun area. We have already there. In fact, early this morning, after we have loaded in the evening, early this morning, they set out to their all local government councils. You can witness from our compound now today that the distribution is continuing. We are now at Ogumosho and Ibarapa. Hopefully we are going to finish today and go to Ibadan tomorrow. That's the experience. It's been very wonderful, and I must also express my desire, my happiness, and my gratitude to the group of Oyo State, improving their readiness to participate in this election. But I must not conclude this short or summary report without expressing our gratitude to the governor of the state for his assistance, because if not because of our assistance, we won't be where we are today. Above all, I must also thank you, Pressman, too, always asking us questions at any time whenever you think that there are gray areas for us to look into.
Ààrẹ Ọlágúnjú further hinted that there will be a restriction of human and vehicular movements from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., while the election will be held between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Restriction will start from 6 a.m. in the morning till 4 p.m. in the evening. Election will start at 8 a.m. and ends at 3 p.m. on that day. Well, I must confess to you that we have very robust collaboration with the security agencies in the state, starting from the police, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Department of State Security Service, even Oyo State Anti-Corruption Agency. They are all involved to ensure that this election is free, is fair, is transparent, and is credible, and to be a legacy of all elections.
The OISEC boss, who reiterated that the commission will not be using the biometric voters accreditation system (BVAS) in the conduct of the election, assured that necessary measures to ensure people's vote count have been put in place. He therefore solicited the cooperation of the electorate, noting that violence or threat of violence are inimical to the success of the polls. Adebayo Abdurrafi, BCOS News.
In the same vein, effort is in top gear to ensure credible, free and fair election during the local government election scheduled for Saturday, April 27. Visit by BCOS correspondent in Ogumosho, Adiremi Akomu, to OISEC zonal offices in Ogumosho today revealed that ad hoc staff were checking their names. Security operatives were sighted within the premises of the offices to maintain orderliness. The electoral officer in Ogumosho North, Mr. Babatunde Olawi, in a telephone conversation, said he was in Ibadan to get election materials, adding any ad hoc staff who missed the training would not partake in the exercise on Saturday to prevent inadequacy and inefficiency. He added that staff and ad hoc staff will get election materials early in the morning on Saturday to ensure the exercise commences by 7 a.m. as scheduled.
Meanwhile, the Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, has been commended for proper preparation for the Saturday local government election. The state chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Otumba Adegbenro Fagbemi Kolaba, and the State Director, National Orientation Agency, Dr. Olukemi Afolayan, stated these were featuring on BCOS Current Affairs live television program Kutu Eye. Our man, Bode Akinjola, compiled the details. His report is presented by Debola Muibi.
The BCOS Current Affairs live television program Kutuhai on Thursday explored the preparation and updates concerning the local government election in the state. While featuring on the program, the NUA State Director, Dr. Olukemi Afolayan, called on the electorate to come out en masse and perform their civic responsibility. Dr. Afolayan said in recent times in the history of local government elections, almost 20 political parties are participating with the umpire playing the game according to the rule.
SEC is supposed to conduct a free and fair election. They are set. They did it in the last election, and I'm confident that they will conduct a credible election. And they are set. They've done training for their ad hoc staff, and they have been distributing non-sensitive materials. So they are set. The electorate, those who have voters' cards, should please come out on Saturday to vote for candidates of their choice across all the 33 local governments. And when they come out, they should conduct themselves in peaceful manner.
The chairman of IPAC, Otumba Adegbenro Fagbemi Ikolaba, confirmed that sensitive materials have been deployed since Wednesday to far-distance local government areas. He added that peace accords have been signed by representatives of political parties and noted that it is on record that since campaign flagged off, there have been no any record of violence.
All political parties in Oyo State are ready for Saturday's elections. And the umpire too, that is the Independent Electoral Commission, OLUYOLEFM, is equally ready, I'm sure, and with God, that the election will be peaceful, free and fair come Saturday 27. They are fully prepared. All the electoral materials are here. The party agent cards are here. All other things are in place.
The IPAC chairman urged OCF to educate their electorate officers to be neutral during the poll.
In another development, the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has approved the regularization and integration of the 129 floating staff members of the defunct Oyo State Agricultural Development Program, OISADEP, into the mainstream of the state civil service of the governor's office, Agodi Badon.
And on the foreign scene, Thai government says its stroke killed at least 30 people this year. Millions of people across South and Southeast Asia swatted through unusually hot weather today. A wave of exceptionally hot weather has blasted the region this week, prompting thousands of schools across the Philippines to suspend in-person classes. The country's weather bureau said severe heat wave conditions are expected in 9 eastern and southern states in the coming days. Nepal issued health warnings at both hospitals on alert today as temperatures soared in its eastern plains. The United Nations earlier this week said Asia was the region most affected by climate and weather hazards in 2023, with floods and storms the chief causes of casualties and economic losses.
Now to end this edition of Newscope, here again are the main points.
118 inmates have escaped from the Medium Security Custodial Center in Suleja, Niger State, as a rainstorm destroys the facility last night.
Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, says over 15,000 security personnel have been mobilized to secure the conduct of the weekend local government election.
The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has approved the regularization and integration of the 129 floating staff members of the defunct Oyo State Agricultural Development Program into the mainstream of the state civil service.
Thai government says heat stroke killed at least 30 people this year as millions of people across South and Southeast Asia sweltered through unusually hot weather today.
That's all from Newscope Desk for now. It was packaged by Mary Adedapo and delivered by
Olukemi Ajayi,
Afolakemi Akombi. Thank you very much for listening, and don't forget to tune in for the Yoruba edition at 8 o'clock tonight. Good evening.
The news.
wọ́ọ̀kú lọ́rọ̀ọ̀rùn pẹ̀sẹ̀ láti kéde nílé akéde tọ̀yọ́ ni ó nílò kó ṣe mọ́ dára rẹ̀ láàmú sọ pé òun wọkọ̀ bọ̀ wá sílé akéde lóríta Basọ̀run nílùú Ìbàdàn mọ́ pàápàá jùlọ láti ṣe ìkéde yẹn polówó ọjà yẹn tàbí fi tó tọ́ tó sì yẹ